on right here on your classic metal show with Dreams. I saw John in the chat room getting kind of whacked out about the fact that I played that, Chris.
In a good way or a bad way? That's like his favorite jam.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He was just getting all, holy, yeah, Dreams. Yeah, man. Rock on, man.
Could you see the tears through the chat room?
I did not see the tears.
Just asking.
Rock on, man. Yeah, Sammy, best of both worlds, man.
Woo.
So I tried to be fair. I mixed it up between the DLR era and the Sammy Hagar era. I played a few of each.
Haven't heard any Sharon yet.
No, there will be no Sharon. I'm sorry.
What?
No, that's an era that should just be forgotten.
Even he comes off like he wasn't in the band. Did you see his kind of tribute? He was like, it was spoken truly like a guy that never knew the guy.
Yeah, we were total strangers.
It came off like that. It was like, he was a great guy and an influencer, and I learned a lot from hearing his music. Nothing like, hey, we had a good run for 2 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
None of that. It was real distant, like he does. Like he's probably finally got the Van Halen fans to stop fucking with him. He doesn't want to,
so he doesn't want to stir the bee's nest again.
Yeah, he just does not want to stir it up at all. So I don't know why he was so distant, but whatever. I'm with you though. It's a forgotten era. It's a shit album. And that's one that should be forgotten for Eddie Van Halen. Forget Gary Sharon. Gary Sharon sounded fine. The songs were fucking garbage.
Yeah, it was just a whole weird thing. It's just like, granted, Gary Sharon sort of had a Sammy Hagar sound to him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, was it really necessary to get an album out there and tour it? And Gary, I know you've had good conversations with him. I've spoken with him 2 or 3 times, and seems like a really nice guy and kind of down to earth and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to admit, during that tour, he came off really weird. Just the stage antics was really weird.
As in gay, is what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that. I mean, it's just like he would just like hide down behind the drum riser, and he would just kind of act strange. Strange on stage. Well, I didn't even put a whole gay mark on it.
Yeah,
it was just eccentric.
But that was Extreme too. They did the same shit with Extreme.
I get that. But he wasn't an Extreme anymore. But he was doing that whole weird thing where he was like, I can't even explain it. It was just kind of like a strange mix for Extreme was their own original thing. Okay? Yeah. And I get that. But now he's in Van Halen, so he needs to be more of the out front, main man, I guess, if you want to use that term. But he was just kind of like doing this whole weird thing.
Yeah, he brought little Jack Horney to Hot for Teacher.
Yeah, it was strange. It's just like, what are you doing?
Show was good though. I will say the tour was good.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great show.
Yeah, I was just like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah. Well, to each their own. But you're not an Extreme guy anyway. Like you're not into Gary's anything he's done, are you? Not really.
Not really. I mean, I would never sit there and go, I'm going to put an Extreme album on and listen to it.
Right.
I think they're talented. I've seen them 3 or 4 times. And obviously Nuno is, for a lot of people he's a very, one of the people that, guitarists look up to from, from a technical standpoint or talent like our good friend John Levin.
Oh yeah.
He's huge Nuno fan.
Yep,
huge. And, again, I've seen them live and I've seen them perform, and I think that they're a very talented band, but they're not really something that I personally am like a huge fan of. I mean, I can't take their talent away from them because I think they're very talented, but their style of music really not my cup of tea.
Yeah. I'm really surprised you don't like Pornography, though. That album just fucking slays.
Yeah, again, I own it. I played it a lot when I had it, but it was just like, all right. It's not one of those that I would just grab off the shelf and put on.
Right. Dude, are we having audio problems tonight? Fucking chat room, second segment in a row, they're saying that the audio's fucked.
Well, here's the story behind here's what's going on.
Okay.
For some reason, I don't know what Microsoft is doing,
Mm-hmm.
but my normal computer that I play everything on
Okay.
is doing a fucking update, and it's taken fucking 3 hours to do this update. It's like it's reinstalling a whole new Windows 10 program or something.
Lovely.
So I've been running everything directly off of Sam's.
Okay.
That's the reason why you haven't heard anything.
Mm.
I started this update at like 6:30 my time,
Right.
and it's at 90% at this point.
Nice.
So it's been almost 4 hours already.
So by about 1:30 your time, it should be ready to go.
Yeah, it's just like, what in the hell is going on here? So yeah, there's a little audio problem,
All right.
a little bit different, but I just been running it directly off the Sam's.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
Look,
I'm looking at my PC and it's like 90%.
Look, anybody that's having a fucking audio problem, just watch on YouTube.
Yeah, it's free.
Go to YouTube. You can see our ugly faces while you listen. You can still hear the show.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's the reason why you haven't heard you, but that's the reason why you haven't been able to hear me when I'm connected, and why there might have been an audio issue.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that
No, everything's fine. It's just the normal way that I do stuff. I'm doing it a little bit different tonight just to get the audio out there.
right.
But yeah, so just stupid Microsoft and all their updates. It seems like every fucking week they have some major update.
Right. That's why I'm a Mac guy now.
Yeah, I know. You got that big Mac computer.
This thing
So,
is
well,
awesome.
why don't you tell us a little bit about that? I know that you went out and spent some coin
yeah.
and bought it. Now this is a laptop, right?
No, this is a desktop. It is
It's a desktop.
it's an iMac. It's the big giant screen thing that you see at the Best Buy.
All right. Well, see, I haven't explored it that much, so I'm not that familiar with it.
I will take a picture and send. But it is an iMac. It is the newest, latest, and greatest iMac.
Now, is it all built into one thing with the screen and the whole bang? Is that what it does?
Yeah. It is a 5K resolution. So where the normal resolution that you probably have on your monitors is like 1920 by 1080. This is like 5230 by something. It's fucking enormous.
Well, I'm even looking at my video via the StreamYard.
Yeah.
And I noticed that there's actual color in my video now.
Yeah, I think that's probably the processing power of this thing.
Yeah, definitely, because my video has a tendency to be a little bit washed out or a little black and white. But now I'm looking at the video through the StreamYard thing, and I noticed that there's color in it now.
Sure. There's definitely color there. My color is fucking amazing. My camera is amazing with the 10. It's got a built-in 1080p camera right into the machine, which I'm using. I have 98 gig of RAM in this monster.
That is a monster.
It's a monster.
Yeah, because the CMS machines that I use here are 16 gig. So you've got 5 times or 6 times of that.
Yeah, it is ridiculous for editing video. When I was editing Aftershocks on Wednesday, and I mean, everybody's heard me complain about how long it takes to edit this shit or to mix it down, the videos. I did 30-minute videos in like 3 minutes a piece.
Nice.
It's just like, in fact, the first time I did it, I thought I forgot to kick it off, because I kicked it off and then I went to start doing something else. And then I went back to check on it to make sure it started, and it wasn't showing me the little signal thing that it was processing. I was like, motherfuck, I fucking forgot. And I looked at the hard drive and there was the file done.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember, years ago, we're talking back in, the middle of the 2000s, 2005, 2006, 2007,
Yeah.
with the machines I was using at the time.
Sure.
I would, obviously record the whole show, and we're just talking audio here. We're not talking video.
Right.
Video, takes up a lot of space.
Oh yeah.
And at that time, we're talking, 12, 15 years ago, when I would hit stop on the record for the CMS, the 6-hour show, it would take about 45 minutes to process that thing.
To process audio.
Yeah. And it's just audio.
Yeah.
Now the machines that I have that are 16 gig now, it takes about 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's just audio. Now, if I had to process the amount of video that you do, that would take hours.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it's been taking me full, like all day Sundays to get the show done and up on CMS TV and all the places that it goes. So, this is amazing. It is a unbelievably cool new feature in this fucking studio.
That, just being able to do video that you do these days, especially with the technology the way it is, the power is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, when I was out visiting with Dawn over Labor Day, we were discussing that Live from the Sun DVD that they did.
Right.
And that was all done on a Mac. And that was a 5-camera shoot.
Sure.
That they had to do. And he processed that entire video and all that stuff on a Mac. That took hours and hours and sometimes days.
I'll bet.
To get to process that video.
Yeah.
In order to process it down, to a DVD. And what you got going on there takes minutes now.
Yeah. It's literally in the three songs that we're playing. I'm not doing the video processing on this thing right during the show because I don't want to get caught to where it's processing at the same time as we're doing the show. Although I think it could probably handle it without buffering. But in the time that we're doing it, I download both the audio and the video. I download the audio to right now to the Surface.
Okay.
Or the video to the Surface, and I download the audio to the new Mac. I kick off the video processing on the Surface. I upload the audio to Anchor, schedule it, do all that scheduling and bullshit, and set it up on the CMS Podcast Network for the scheduling as well, all within that 10 minutes. So that's how much the speed enhancement of this thing is enhancing. So with each segment, I'll literally finish the show tonight at 3:00 or whatever. I'll have everything of the last segment processing at 3:30. I'll have everything done. Everything will be done. It'll be up on BitChute. It'll be up on Vimeo. It'll be scheduled for YouTube, the audio videos, all of the processing, all of the podcasts will be done by like 7:00 in the morning, which is awesome. And then I can actually sleep a little bit, then I'll go to sleep at 8 o'clock in the morning and then get up about 3.
So what is the cost of a monster like that?
It was $28.80 for the computer itself without the RAM, and then another $460 for the RAM.
Now, what does it come stock with RAM wise?
16 gig.
Oh, okay.
And I yanked that right out.
So you spent an extra 400 to
Mhm.
increase the RAM by times 5 or
Yeah.
whatever. Just
Yeah,
6.
exactly. I went with their I was so tempted to go with their full the company. My brother turned me on to a company that sells RAM packages, and they had a 128 gig RAM
Wow.
package,
Okay.
and it was $600.
Mhm.
And I was so tempted to do it. And then I was like, as much as I'm doing, I literally broke out the calculator and did the math of how much shit will be processing at any given time on this computer.
Right.
And I couldn't even come close to about 64 gig of RAM.
Mhm.
So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go all the way up. If it changes in the future, I only have to buy, 2 more chips.
Sure.
So it'll be okay. So I can't fathom, and I always say this with computers, I can't fathom that it's going to need more speed or get faster or whatever. But you know, this thing is a fucking monster right now.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I'm again looking at the StreamYard thing.
Mhm.
I can definitely tell the whole difference,
Oh yeah.
with the high def
Mhm.
camera, this Brio that I run.
Right.
It never had the potential of, you know, doing what it does, but I'm looking at my video
Yeah.
that I'm streaming to the StreamYard, and it has made a major difference in the definition and the color and
Oh
everything.
yeah. Yeah. Just another improvement for the CMS, dude.
Yeah.
Because that's what I bought this for. I didn't buy this for work. This is not this. It may become my main work computer because it is such a monster, but it's in here with the sole purpose of to do CMS and aftershocks, and that's it.
Mhm. Yeah.
I really I did some work in here just because it's exciting to have a computer that's this rocket fast. But you know how it gets in this fucking room that I'm in. It's fucking freezing cold in the winter and very hot in the summer. So I don't know that I'll want to work in here,
Yeah.
but who knows? Maybe I'll just go and remote in from bed and I won't even get out of bed. I'll be a total slug.
Well, speaking of aftershocks,
Yes, sir.
you and Matt did the show this past Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
and lately you've been getting some live video guests,
Oh yeah.
and I stuck around there for a good portion of the show. Now, did Rick Rule ever call?
No, Rick had food poisoning or something, so he didn't call. So we just got Alan Bone.
Yeah, I hung around and I was just like, so when is Rick gonna come on?
Yeah, we got boned.
He got owned.
We got boned legitimately.
All right.
He was nice. He was nice enough to.
I did. I watched most of that,
Yeah.
and I was just like, okay, well, is Rick coming on? And Rick's nice guy.
Mhm.
I've talked to him on numerous occasions. Obviously, we hung out with him a little bit
Yeah,
about
Fiore's.
3 years ago. Is it already 3 years or two
Yeah,
years?
2 year, 18.
Okay, and he's always been gracious to come on the show and do what he does, but I was just like, well, it's getting already late and Kendall's show is coming up. I was like, I don't think Rick's gonna come on.
Yeah, nope, nope. Blew us off, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Now, speaking of Rick, I mean, I like this new Every Mother's Nightmare release.
Yeah, it's solid.
Yeah, it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Rick is doing okay mentally, physically? Because the videos, he looks a little not well.
Yeah, he's once they dip below 170 pounds, you start to wonder.
Yeah, he looks like, what's going on there, Cracky?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely looks like he
I
might.
mean, I'm not saying that that's the case. I really don't know.
I
I'm just
don't know.
saying that in the video, he comes off looking a little haggard.
Yeah, he looks rough, but I mean, he's been home. Like everybody else, he should be well rested and fat like the rest of us. But
You would think.
not him.
Yeah. So anyway, I know that Jim Phipps 2 years ago when
Mhm.
Every Mother's Nightmare played at Fiore's,
Right.
Jim just sort of went MIA.
Yeah.
And I was on the bus with Rick and getting some stuff signed for our friend Dan Pate.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, well, what happened to Jim? I thought he was like still part of this lineup. And he goes, nope, gone.
Out.
Nowhere to be found. He just went MIA, just disappeared.
Yeah.
And he didn't really want to comment or say anything more about it than that.
Yeah, I don't know. Do that. You probably remember this. I didn't even know of this band really until you introduced me to them when we were doing the CMS.
Right.
I missed them. I sort of remember the song "Love Will Make You Blind," but I'm gonna be honest. I never knew who that was. I never knew who it was that sang it.
Yeah.
It was just one of those faceless, nameless tunes to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they even had a second hit, did they?
Oh yeah, they had Walls Come Crumbling Down and House of Pain, and
The Walls Would Come Crumbling Down was later.
no, that was their second release.
Oh, all right. Well,
Wake Up Screaming.
Well, that tells you everything I need.
Well, yeah, I was a fan. I definitely was a fan early on. I enjoyed them quite a bit, and I was, I liked Every Mother's Nightmare.
I did them. They're cool.
Yeah, and I got to meet them, or actually Rick Rule. I met Rick and actually Jim Phipps
Right.
at the Revolution.
Right.
They came in there, and I'm going to tell you, and I still say this to this day, and I've said this on the show, that they played at Billy's Club, the Revolution, and that was one of the best club shows that I have ever seen. They sounded absolutely amazing.
Right.
And after the show, he was hanging out with the guy from Brave Words. Is it
Mark Groman?
Mark Groman. And our good friend Jack Frost was there.
Yeah.
Strangely enough.
Right.
So I was hanging out with Mark Groman, Jim Phipps, Rick Rule, and Jack Frost one evening.
Look at you.
And we were just all hanging out, just shooting the shit and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, this is a weird thing. And this was like on a Tuesday night.
Right.
And it was just like really weird. It was like, oh, okay. And it was just really cool to hang out and just talk to these guys. And, we were just talking, just shooting the shit like old dude, old buddies, But I love Every Mother's Nightmare. I like their tunes. I own their discs. I, like them as a band. And Rick's always been cool to us and to me anyway, and all of us. And
Well, I didn't have any problem with them blowing us off for Wednesday. As long as somebody showed up, I really didn't give a shit. I was like, trying to do live, I will say this, and I had forgotten it from CMS. It fucking blows doing live. Because everything that you booked shit, everybody's confirmed, canceled.
Yeah.
We had, not this week, but all three of our guests showed up this week, which was good. Rick didn't show up, but Every Mother's Nightmare appeared, so that was fine. The show before that, we had Michael Sweet on. We had two other bands. Neither of them showed up, and one of them canceled 2 minutes before their time to come on. Literally 2 minutes before they were supposed to come on at 7:40.
Yeah.
I got an email. It was timed 7:38. Sorry, can't make it tonight. Can we reschedule for tomorrow?
Yeah. No, we don't do the show tomorrow.
Yeah. No, it's live, dick. And you fucked my show. So fuck you.
Yeah.
And then I had that, I'll tell stories. I don't give a shit. Then we had Nick Perry cancel on us twice, not once, but twice.
Who?
Nick Perry. He was the guitar player. And this one was 100% a Chris is a fan of guy, so he's willing to do it.
Now, who was he?
He was the guitar player of the not remembered by anybody but me band, Silvertide.
Oh, okay.
Remember Silvertide?
Yeah. I see. I don't recognize the guy's name, but I do recognize the band name.
Yeah. But they were popular for one album in like 2004.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah. Well, he's back playing guitar.
Okay.
I was excited about it because I was a fan of that Silvertide record.
All right.
Booked him the first time. No showed. Booked him the second time. he was doing the drive-in dates, like 4 drive-in dates with Blackberry Smoke.
Okay.
And he was opening for them for 4 shows. The shows started on the 10th last month. It was the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. It was like over a weekend, 4 shows. Our show aired on the 9th. So it was like, okay, this will be good. We'll get him on. He'll come on. Now, his interview time was only supposed to be for 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, keep that in mind because this will tell you what a fucking knob job this was. He fucking cancels because he forgot that he was going to be on vacation. That's the email I got from the publicist. And I wrote back, vacation? He's got to be in fucking Pennsylvania tomorrow for the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Well, he's on vacation and he's not sure he'll have time. Like, he can't fucking squeeze out 15 minutes to promote his own fucking goddamn business? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So at that point, and Matt was just like, fuck him. Yeah. Never again. You know, Matt's got a lot more of my old rage in him.
Yeah, sure.
He was just like, fuck him. Never talk to him again. He's dead to me. So, but you know, and meanwhile, one of the bands we interviewed this week, this band called Eyes, the guy was in Copenhagen. He stayed up till like 2 in the fucking morning to do the interview.
Okay.
You know, I was like, okay, this guy can stay up till 2 in the morning, but fucking Nick Perry can't give me 15 fucking minutes.
Well, apparently he's very important.
So important you didn't even know who he was.
No. Well, again, I'm not. I know the band name Silvertide. I couldn't tell you what their song was or anything about their album.
Yeah. I mean, I liked Silvertide. I like that song So Fucking Crazy. SFC, that's a great tune.
Okay.
You know, and California was another great tune. But they, I mean, the album's great, but that was in 2004, 16 years later. You know, show up for your fucking interview, asshole. But yeah, it's really, I had forgotten how frustrating it is to book.
Well, it is. And this, you know, for people who aren't as long-term fans, you know, a lot of what we used to do was that we used to book various artists on the show live.
10 o'clock and 11 o'clock every week.
And a lot of them never showed up or they forgot or they didn't call. So that's why we ended up going with the pre-recorded stuff.
Yeah.
And just releasing that independently of the show.
Yeah.
Because it just became too much of a pain in the dick. Yeah. And then a lot of the time when we did have somebody on, a lot of people were just like, Z, who are these guys? You know, so we just made the decision, okay, well, we'll record the interview and then we'll just, you know, release that as a separate podcast thing.
Yeah. And if people want to listen, they can. And if not, don't.
Yeah.
You know, that's really how it goes. I know I'm doing one that you already did next week. I'm interviewing Phil Lewis.
Okay, cool.
And I'm like, you know, I've purposely not listened to your interview.
All right.
Because I don't want to, you know, do the same interview.
And you don't want to repeat the same thing.
Right. But dude, did you listen to the album? I know I sent it to you. Did you download it and listen to it?
Now, you said Phil Lewis.
Or not Phil Lewis. I'm sorry. Steve Riley.
Steve Riley.
Yeah.
No, I have not listened to the new Renegades release.
I got to tell you, I like it.
Well, it's good. Again, the songs that I heard were not bad.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't like the competing LA Guns.
I don't like that either.
I don't like that. I like, again, Steve Riley and I go back a long time, 20 years, at least 20 years.
Right.
And he has always been really, really cool to me. He's always been very accommodating. He's always treated me well. He's been very respectful.
Sure.
And I've got nothing bad to say about Steve. Nothing. Because he's always been very cool to me every time. But I don't like the competing LA Guns thing. I just don't like it.
Did you tell him that?
Yes, of course. I talked to both Kelly Nichols and him. I interviewed both of them. And, they had some valid points. It's like, well, we had some writing credits in LA Guns and we should be able to play those songs. And I was just like, well, yeah, I agree. You should be able to play those songs, but under the LA Guns name,
Yeah.
I don't know so much about that.
Yeah. Well, my question that I am going to ask him is, I know next week they go back to court. They're back in court next week about who owns the license and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the question I have for him is, if he loses, is he going to continue with this band? Is he going to repackage it as Cocked and Loaded and go out there and tour? Or does the life of this band, these four guys together with an album out, rely 100% on how this thing turns out?
Right.
Because I think that's a valid question.
It is a valid question, and I agree. And again, I don't like the fact. I mean, come on, Tracy Guns. Even though that is not his real name, but
right.
Tracy Ulrich, and Phil Lewis. They're kind of the face of the band in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Phil Lewis. I mean, all of the hits that LA Guns have. I mean, it's Phil Lewis.
Yeah. You can't, to me, the argument of I've been there the whole time doesn't wash, because it's not true. He's not the original drummer. And when you're literally talking about 0 guys that have been there for the entire length of time, and you've got the guys that have been the fucking face of the band for most of the run, that's the band. Whatever Phil Lewis is in, if it's Phil Lewis and 4 Strangers, that's LA Guns. In my mind, because he's sang on every release.
No, don't say every release.
Well, almost every,
most of the releases, because obviously Jizzy Pearl did, Shrinking Violet,
and that other guy,
Ralph Saenz did.
Oh, that's true, and Chris whatever too,
and Chris Van Dahl.
Yeah.
So not every release.
Most of the releases.
No, the most popular releases.
Yeah, the ones that count.
That's my point.
The ones that have the songs that people are going to demand to see live were sung by Phil Lewis.
Yes.
Nobody's going to the show hoping to hear this is what I've become from the Van Dahl era, or Wasted from the, that's a good song.
Wasted's a great song, but it's Ralph Saenz.
Yeah, nobody in LA Guns concert history has ever been yelling for Wasted to be played by anybody but Ralph. And nobody's ever wanted to hear Shrinking Violet sung by Phil Lewis either. So,
although I love the Shrinking Violet album, I think
I do too.
I dig that album a lot.
Mm-hmm. As a Jizzy Pearl record, it's fantastic.
It's fantastic. But when you're talking LA Guns,
mm-hmm.
LA Guns is Phil Lewis and Tracy Guns.
Right.
And again, Steve has been a stalwart and a very nice guy to know personally.
Right.
I don't like the competing LA Guns. I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not real. It's not good, but I don't know. I'm interested to talk to Steve Riley. I hope I don't call him Phil Lewis like I just did here. But
well, just mention me, and he'll be cool with you.
Yeah, exactly. He'll excuse me calling him Phil.
Yeah. Now, Steve has been, every time I ever wanted to go to a LA Guns show or, get some interviews or hang out with them after the show or, whatever.
Right.
Steve has always made that happen. Always.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I don't have any issue with Steve. I mean, competent drummer. I don't know that anybody in LA Guns history has ever been like, man, There's Rush and there's LA Guns. Those are the two drum bands for
Oh,
me.
well, of course, Steve, he was also a part of the popular Wasp lineup.
Yeah, nobody's ever been looking for the Steve Riley Wasp.
No, not at all.
I notice he hasn't taken that out on the road.
No, he hasn't gone out as Steve Riley's Wasp.
Yeah. Yeah. Call it The Last Command. Isn't that the album he played on? Last Command.
Yeah.
He could be in that era of Wasp.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the whole thing, is that trademark or that brand, that means everything when it comes to trying to book shows and make money.
Right.
And really that's what it boils down to. It's just like, well, could Steve Riley and Kelly Nichols go out and make their own music and do their own thing? Yeah, they could do that, but nobody's going to listen because nobody would recognize,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, whatever they want to call themselves, the Renegades.
Yeah.
Featuring Steve Riley and Kelly Nichols. Nobody's going to go, oh yeah, I know who those guys are.
Yeah.
But you put that LA Guns stamp on it, then you've got a built-in audience that goes, oh yeah, I love LA Guns.
Yeah, you got people that won't know the difference is really what you're going for.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's no different than Bobby Blotzer hijacking the Rat name. I mean, granted, Bobby has been in Rat from the, I won't say from the beginning, but during the most popular era.
Yeah.
And he figured out, after he was trying to do the Bobby Blotzer Rat experience,
right,
that nobody gave a shit about that. But you put that Rat stamp on it, and it's like, oh, it's Rat.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Rat,
I still think that Blotz fucked himself, though. If he would have done the Blotzer experience for a year or so, he would have built that up like, I honestly think he would have built that up like the Zeppelin experience.
Exactly.
That's big, obviously.
I agree, but the thing is everybody wants the quick score.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, well, I can't get booked on, package tours and that's exactly what he did, because he didn't go out there and play solo shows for the most part. He was always part of a package, and he made, 10, 12, 16, maybe even 20 grand a show as Rat.
Yeah.
But as Bobby Blotzer's Rat experience, $3,000.
Yeah, at first, but I'm sure Jason Bonham went through a similar thing at the beginning too, but he stuck with it. Now he makes fucking millions.
Maybe he does, but Jason Bonham didn't need the money, I wouldn't imagine.
Well, Bobby's got that cleaning business, doesn't he?
Yeah, Stanley Steamer.
Yeah.
But my point is that, Jason going out and playing his Zeppelin music, he didn't need the money. I don't imagine he would need the money. I would hope that, whatever money in the Zeppelin legacy he's got, has been bestowed upon him at some point, wouldn't you think?
Well, you would think so. You would hope so. You would hope that John Bonham didn't blow through all his money.
No. Well, not that John Bonham blew through his money. I'm sure that the John Bonham estate still collects.
Yeah, true.
His share of the Zeppelin catalog money.
Yeah, he's probably that family's probably still making $1 or $2. I'm sure Bonham's mom isn't homeless.
No, of course not. And then of course his sister, I met Jason and his sister when they were working with Foreigner.
Yeah, I met him.
And his sister was Mick Jones's personal assistant.
Right.
So she was working for or with the band, and of course Jason was in Foreigner for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't imagine that either one of them are hurting for money.
Nah, probably not.
That they have to work.
Yeah. Do you think that there's enough scraps on the table for LA Guns to even make it valid? I mean, what could they possibly make?
Well, When Tracy and Phil reunited, what, 5 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
At least 5 years ago. I'm sure that their asking price was probably around 10.
Wow, really?
I think, as Phil and Tracy,
Right.
maybe about 10. Now that it's been diluted with Steve and Kelly Nichols out there being LA Guns and Tracy and Phil being LA Guns,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably diluted their asking price to be about 5 to 6.
Mm.
What
And
do you
what do you
think?
think? What do you think that? Do you think that? Not Phil. Fuck. Steve's version's in the same ballpark.
I would say that they're probably equal.
Wow.
I think that it diluted the brand.
I know.
Like,
I would be annoyed as fuck if I went to see LA Guns and those guys came out.
well, again, here you go. You're dealing with club owners and promoters,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, hey, we're getting LA Guns in here. We're getting the name LA Guns on our marquee.
Yeah.
We're not saying who's in the band. We're just saying we're getting LA Guns in here.
Right.
And it's like, well, see, I ran into this early on, way back in the late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at a club in the late 80s, and we did host these concerts, and we brought in people like Robin Trower, and we brought in Foghat, and
Sure.
brought in Blue Oyster Cult, and various 70s bands like that.
Mm-hmm.
We also brought in the Guess Who.
Okay.
And a lot of people were asking, well, we would get phone calls, when the tickets were on sale, because we would sell the tickets through the club and at the door and things like that. We didn't do like a whole Ticketmaster thing.
Right.
And people would call the club, and I would actually man the phones, and people would go, well, I see that you're having like the Guess Who at your club.
Mm-hmm.
Is Burton Cummings singing?
Okay.
So there were some people who were, well, that determined whether they bought a ticket or not.
Sure. But that's probably the minority. Most people would never even think.
Well, that's kind of my point. There were some people who asked the question.
Right.
Most people showed up thinking that they're going to see the Guess Who.
Right.
These Eyes, Clap for the Wolfman, the whole thing. But they didn't know if Burton Cummings was going to be the lead singer or not.
Right.
So they showed up, and our club only held like 450 people, but they showed up because they wanted to hear the Guess Who.
Okay.
And people, where's Burton, man?
And then there was probably other people that didn't even know it wasn't him.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing. And it's just like, well, LA Guns are coming, they're coming to my club, blah, blah, blah. I want to hear Ballad of Jane.
Yeah.
So that's just how it goes. It's like, where's Phil Lewis, man? That's not Tracy Guns up there.
That's him.
Yeah. Well, again, it's they see the brand, they see the name. It's just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go see them because I like Rip and Tear, I like Sex Action, or
Right.
Ballad of Jane, or whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get there and they're going, this isn't the guys that I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna walk out of the club and demand your money back?
Yeah. Well, is what it is. I don't know. I don't know why these guys do this stuff, but
well, it's
money.
I know exactly why they do it. I mean, it's a living.
Yeah.
They
got, I guess.
They pocket a few $100 or $1,000 for a show, and they go about their business.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I, we both make a living. I know what I do. I know what you do.
Yeah.
And we got to pay the mortgage. We got to pay the rent. We got to pay our bills.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, I'm a musician. This is what I do. I have ownership of the LA Guns name. I'm going out there. I'm playing LA Guns music. so be it.
Yeah. And if I could sell something and call it Microsoft, I probably would.
Exactly.
I guess. I guess if you want to really look at it that way, I probably would.
Of course. So, again, I mean, it's tough in this day and age. I mean, we all know that, music in general is not selling,
Right.
but the brand means everything. And again, this goes back to our good friend Bob Nalbandian.
Yeah. Band versus brand.
Brand versus brand.
Exactly.
That's everything.
Mm-hmm.
That brand means everything, especially when you have a 30 or 40-year legacy with it. It's just like, well, everybody recognizes that name. Everybody knows the name. They know the name Rat. They know the name LA Guns. They know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they'll show up and they'll pay their money and they'll go.
Mm-hmm.
And these musicians, they go, well, you know what? I'm a musician. I need to make a couple of bucks too. I got to pay rent too.
Right.
So here I am. I'm doing what I do. This is my craft. So thanks for coming out and to see me.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Exactly. All right. So there you are.
Did I tell you we have another fan of the show that listens, that's at least been in a band, been in and works with several bands?
I was not aware, but who is that?
I was chatting this week with guitarist, I believe, Drew Fortier, who was in Bang Tango.
Oh yeah, the guy who does the documentary thing.
Well, he did that movie and then he ended up in Bang Tango.
Okay.
He wants to come on the show, and I think I want him on the show.
Well, I'd be glad to have him on.
I chatted with him for about an hour this week, and he's got a lot of stories. He's done stuff with Ellefson. He's done stuff with our good buddy Chip's Enough. He's still doing stuff with Chip's Enough.
All right.
He did the Bang Tango documentary, and he had some crazy stories about that thing, including I don't know if I'm supposed to tell this, but I'm going to anyway. Apparently the ending, remember how we dogged the ending of that movie because it was so pathetic seeing them out there for 10 people or whatever? Yeah. Apparently that was a second ending. They shot the original ending at another location, at another show that was even worse.
Okay. All right.
So it was even worse. So they were like, this fucking sucks. You got to shoot another ending. You got to shoot another ending. Come out to whatever gig this is and shoot this one. So then they went out to shoot that one. And it was what we saw, which, 30 people in a 10,000 seat venue.
Wow. All right.
I just was like, oh, wow. But yeah, he seems like he's got a lot of shit. He's got a book. He's sending a copy of the book. He sent me a PDF of it. I need to forward it to you. If you'll read it. Will you even read it off a PDF?
Well, sure.
All right, I'll send it to you. I will send it over. I haven't even looked at it, but
you did send me his little text message to you that he loves this show.
Yeah, dude, he was just talking to him. He was like, he was using all the vernacular. And I was like, wow, you really are. At some point, I was like, wow, you really did go far down the rabbit hole listening to us. Because he was quoting like the Snake Man and stuff like that. I was like, wow, you really have, you're a real fan.
Yeah, well, we do have a lot of material out there.
We do. Well, I don't know if you saw it, but we crossed on YouTube. We crossed 5,000 videos.
Okay.
We have 5,000 segments out there. 5,000.
Yeah, there's a never-ending listening to the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you could listen forever. So, but yeah, Drew wants to come on.
All right. I'd be glad to have him on.
Yeah, I told him. I said, let me get my head around the book here a little bit, and let you get your head around the book a little bit, and then we'll talk to him about the book.
Sure, why not? Bring him on.
Yeah. If he's got good stories, I'm all in. I don't care I don't care if it's a band that we like or not. But
yeah, he's a fan.
Yeah.
I saw his comment. I was just like, okay, this guy's a fan.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. And one other quick thing, since we're talking music. So I don't know if you were aware, but Armored Saint did their first live stream show today.
Okay, I was not aware of that, but okay.
to promote Punching the Sky
Mm-hmm.
or Punch the Sky or whatever it's called. And I watched it. I participated in their live stream.
Okay.
Gotta say, the Saint came off like they've been out playing shows every day. They kicked ass.
Dude, I love Armored Saint. I've seen them at least a half a dozen times, and those guys are amazing. Bob Nobandian again. I credit Bob because
Mhm.
he always hooks me up with the guys from Saint when we're out at NAM.
Sure.
And John Bush, I'm a huge fan. Big John Bush fan. John is an amazing front man.
Oh, he's great. And it was funny because when they were playing, I mean, they were lightning, man. They were like really energized and really bringing it, whether it was the, old stuff like Can You Deliver or they played Left Hook from Right. They only played 12 songs, but they played Left Hook from Right Field, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that song.
And they played 4 new songs, which was great. And it was really good, but in between songs, John Bush clearly did not know what to do. He had no idea what to do. It was performed at the Whiskey, and there was probably like 3 people in there other than the band. So he was going through all the steps of I don't know what to do. Thanking people that were watching. He was trying to do the one that was funny was the stage intro to Can You Deliver? Because he was trying to work in this what he thought would be like a funny intro to the song about
kind of like a lead in.
Yeah, and it was like a pizza delivery sort of deal.
All right.
That was where he was going with it. But the reason he was going for it was because it was being seen all over the place. So he had to preface it too much to where the joke wasn't any good.
Yeah.
He was like, well, some of you are on the West Coast and it's lunchtime, and some of you are on the East Coast and it's dinner time, and some of you are in Europe, so it's beer time. I mean, he just like on and on and on just to get to the point.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, dude, we get it. And then finally he got to the, well, call up your pizza guy and say, can you deliver? And then they kicked into Can You Deliver?
Right.
And it just was like, it in a live setting, it would have never happened. But because it was a live stream, he's trying to appease everybody that's
yeah. So he's trying to keep everybody engaged.
Yeah.
And appeal to the worldwide audience.
Right. And at the same time, getting no feedback at all back. So he didn't know if it was going over well or not, which is even worse. But other than that, other than in between songs being a little bit squirrely, holy fuck, did they bring it? That was some good shit. I was really happy.
I didn't know about it, but had I known, I would have tuned in.
Yeah, it was good. It was worth the $5 or whatever it was.
Nice.
I don't know what it cost to get the ticket, but if I had one, I was like, all right, I'll watch this thing.
Perfect. So, hey, Joe, caller, you're on the air.
What's going on, boys? Wayne from Dallas. First time, long time.
What's up, Wayne?
What's going on, Wayne? What's happening? What's happening in Dallas? Is everybody voting Trump in Dallas?
I don't know. There's segments of Dallas that's full on fucking liberal, and I don't know.
Are you voting Trump in Dallas?
Hell yes, I'm voting Trump.
All right, that's all I need to know. What's on your
mind? I encourage anybody with any common sense to do so. Anyways, you guys are talking about the LA Guns, the 2 versions.
Yeah.
I have some insight. A promoter friend of mine, before COVID hit, had both bands booked at a venue 2 weeks apart, and
the same venue.
Yes, within about 2 or 3 weeks apart.
And what venue was that?
I'm not going to say.
Why not? Why can't you say that?
I don't want to rat out information I'm not supposed to be talking about.
All right, go ahead.
Anyways, the people can figure it out eventually because they're being rebooked for next year. But anyways, they were about 3 or 4 weeks apart, maybe. The Kelly Nichols, Steve Riley version was $2,500. They wanted $4,000. They accepted 25.
Okay.
The Tracy Phil version was 55. Then that was a flop.
55.
5,500. Wow.
5,500.
All right.
100. Okay, I was like, 50.
And
Well,
that
see, Chris, I was
Yeah,
right
not-
in.
yeah, not 55,000.
I was right in the ballpark.
All right.
yeah. And the Kelly Nichols Riley were asking for more, but obviously took 25. And I think they were actually going to be on tour. The Tracy Phil was a fly-in, but the reunited Bullet Boys was asking for 7
Wow.
and got it in Houston and accepted 4 for Dallas. So, yeah, you never know.
It's not a lot of money. I know, again, these are C level bands compared to their contemporaries, be it anywhere from Motley Crue to Dokken to Rat to whatever. But yeah, I'm $5,000, 4,500, $5,000. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, just to put it in perspective, I'm in northern Oklahoma tonight doing a Bon Jovi tribute gig that paid us $3,000. So that's more than the Kelly Nichols Steve Riley version. So it's crazy. It's crazy times.
You're in a band,
right?
All right,
Correct.
and so that's what your asking price is for $3,000.
No, that's for the tribute band.
Yeah,
not the original band.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's just like your asking price is a Bon Jovi tribute band is $3,000.
The minimum is 25.
Wow,
the minimum.
Well, good for you.
Look at that.
But it's. I mean, it's cool, but it's also kind of ridiculous at the same time. I'm 50-50 on it.
Now what part? Now what part of the Bon Jovi lineup do you play?
Drums.
All right. So you're the Tico Torres of the band.
I guess the Tico character, right?
Do you have a catchy stage name like Tico?
No.
No Tico Taco or anything like that.
No catchy fake name, no wig, no fucking fake soul patch, none of that shit. So
where do you guys where do you cut off at the Bon Jovi catalog?
Have a nice day.
Okay, none of
the only thing the only 2 songs past Keep the Faith are It's My Life and Have a Nice Day. That's it.
All right, so no bounce or any of that stuff.
No, none of the communist propaganda bullshit that it turned into
good
10, 15 years ago. So
good.
Yeah.
So you like the CMS though?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I found. I know you always ask. I found this show. It's going to open up a can of worms since I've never called. I found this show when the Stevie Rochelle versus Christy Major shit went down because I was on that tour.
Okay.
The America Rocks tour and all that kind of shit. I was like Googling things because I was still quote unquote a band at the time, and that's how I found it. And I was like, oh, these guys are roasting Crash. This is incredible. And pretty much been on board ever since then.
All right, cool. Well, we're glad to have you on board.
Oh, glad to be on board. So anyways, not to derail the show, just offer some insight. So hell and kill, fuck you, pal, hand job, and fuck all liberals.
Fair enough.
Well, there's our guy, Tico Taco.
Yeah, it's Taco Torres from Bon Jovi Tribute.
Exactly. I like it.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, good for him.
Yeah.
He's out there playing shows and actually getting $3,000 a show.
Did we really roast Christy Majors?
We did a little bit.
I remember him thinking we sandbagged him, and we didn't.
Well, we did talk about him a little bit because, he was talking about going to get the hair extensions and he was all creepy, and yeah, exactly. It was just a whole weird thing.
He had that weird pedophile laugh.
Yeah, it was just bizarre.
Yeah. I hope he's doing well.
Yeah. I like how different people find us for various reasons.
I know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I sort of remember. I don't really remember much.
We didn't bag on him too hard, but Stevie must have been on, because I think Stevie and him went head to head about something, because the whole Metal Sludge thing. Remember the whole Metal Sludge thing? And he was like threatening to sue him, and I'm going to end the Metal Sludge name. And
I'm pretty sure it was more than a threat. I'm pretty sure he
well,
did.
but the thing is didn't you talk to Christie after that? And he goes, if I win that, I'll give you the Metal Sludge thing. Didn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
he did.
remember that?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so that's probably at that point, that's what happened. He's like, yeah, if I own the Metal Sludge, I'll give it to you for nothing.
Well, apparently Stevie beat him in that then. As of yet, we're not Metal Sludge.
No. But that's where that all came into play.
Right.
There.
Glad you remember this stuff. I don't even remember. I just remember his creepy laugh.
But you do remember that, though.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because you did talk to him shortly after that, and he was just like, yeah, I'm suing Stevie, and if I win and I take the Metal Sludge name, I'll give it to you for nothing.
Right. I remember that.
Remember that? So that's probably where that came from.
Right. Interesting.
Weird stuff, man.
Yep.
Everybody picking at the bones of nothing. something that was relevant 30 plus years ago, and people are still picking at the bones.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
It really is. It's kind of nuts.
Well, I say we take a little bit of a break. I did not listen to this Renegade record. Did you? And you said you liked it. You listened to
like it. Mm-hmm.
Is there a song that you think the fans might like? I'll cue one up here.
Try the second tune on it. I forget what it's called.
This one is called Why Ask Why?
Yeah, that one's pretty good. That's
okay. All right. Well, again, I haven't listened to the record. I have it, obviously, but I haven't listened to it. But anyway, Steve Riley and Kelly Nichols are out there touring around or potentially they did put out a record and potentially touring.
Right.
As LA Guns, even though Steve and Phil are still out there doing LA Guns as well.
Right.
And this record is out, and you can pick it up if you want.
Okay.
And I'm gonna listen to this for the first time, like the most of you.
It's a first time play.
Exactly. So here it is from the brand new Renegades record featuring Steve Riley and Kelly Nichols of the most popular lineup of LA Guns, and this is called Why Ask Why, exclusively here
on your classic metal show.